I've been to Nebraska City on so many occasions, but this particular occasion is clearly more serious because of the flood and because of the consequences and how we're dealing with it. I'd rather be here under other circumstances, walking in the parade or doing something like that. But it is important that we get together and talk about how things are. Many people have flood insurance for their residences and their farmsteads, and that's very important. In agriculture, there is crop insurance, which covers flood as well. And then for communities and for governments, including OPPD and other municipal governments, the governor has submitted a disaster declaration request, which I hope will be promptly handled in Washington. We've written a follow-on letter with it saying please handle it expeditiously. That will help with the costs. Some of the costs of remediation will be out there, but also some of the protection. I know OPPD has spent a lot of money protecting itself from the rising waters that this flood has given us, and so there's hope along the way through the Federal Emergency Management Agency and through the Federal Crop Insurance and the Federal Flood Program to help a lot of people who would otherwise not have help. In addition, the governor has requested individual assistance. There's a very technical level that has to achieve in order for that to be covered for people who have, let's say, uninsured, non-covered losses. We know that it'll be at high levels for a long period of time, and nobody can tell us when that time frame is over, and that is a challenge to anybody that's the land is inundated, they've lost their house, they don't know when they're going to get back in, or if it's affected the municipal government with water treatment or with sewage treatment and other situations, and of course the utilities. The utilities are concerned. We're trying to raise railroad track levels and road levels and things like that.
I really do think we did all the right things.
And we put a lot of effort into shoring up our primary levee and really did a good job of monitoring it and inspecting it, and as you saw, we found some issues that we addressed, and so we were able to keep that in force, and it held the water back. That's a good thing.
And all this work is really to protect about a $2 billion asset down here. But the county, being a public power, it's owned by everybody in our service area, so that's why we put so much effort into it, and it is one of our stations that's providing the majority of the load.
We worked early on, Gary and Jeff and our team worked closely with the Corps of Engineers and HDR levee experts to come up with the best plan too. I think it was a great idea. It worked well for us.
Nebraska City is still open for business, still open for tourism. They're not closed down, and you want people to know that, and I think that's not only a wise move, I think it is appropriate because the state of Nebraska is not shut down. We have some challenges and we have some inconveniences and a lot of annoyances. It's called a flood. But people are responding to it very, very positively, and that's the sort of thing, the Nebraska spirit, that will get us through these challenging times. We want to make certain that this is not an annual event, and it's not going to happen next year. So we've asked the Corps to do a complete assessment of what they did this year, after the fact, knowing things, hindsight being 20/20, to come back and take a look and admit mistakes if there are some, and what they would have done differently.